Good evening, everyone. It is 9:04. And I go. It is 9:04 in the middle of Omaha. Got done watching a video of a few women duking it out at a Mega Saver. Gotta say, Omaha, a lot of class. Not really. But anyways, not the point. I put up there in a word stats that I will be going to Mockingbird Lanes tonight for a little bit of cosmic bowling. It actually started about 4 minutes ago, but I'm not going to go till 10 because, well, I go now. It's a little early, ain't it? But I'm going to be going there tonight. $10 for unlimited bowling. $6 for a 32-ounce straw, which isn't actually that bad if you think about it. You know, so you can get a bottle of beer for anywhere between $2.50 to $3 for a 16-ounce beer. So literally, you're paying $3 for a 16-ounce beer a piece, except it's in a 32-ounce cup, which is awesome. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Sorry if I have the hiccups. It's not because I've been drinking. I'm drinking a Red Bull right now. For some reason, every now and again, it gives me the hiccups. I'm not entirely sure why. It's a mystery. I'll never know. Never. Anyways, I just wanted everyone to know what was up. It's really all I got. Starting to run out of things to say. Well, I could say more, but then I might get offensive to society as a whole. Actually, you know what? Screw it. So, earlier today, I was talking to someone. Names will not be mentioned because I do not feel like starting a fight with anyone on the internet. If you want to fight me, go ahead and find me, and then you can fight with me. I'm not doing that crap over the internet. It's pointless and stupid. Alright? It's like sending notes in class. Like, everyone from my generation remembers, we'd pass notes throughout class saying, like, hey, do you like me? Or, like, hey, what are you doing after school? That's kind of what I feel like an internet fight is. It's just people passing notes in class like, I hate you. And then nothing comes of it. It's stupid and honestly asinine and juvenile. Which is why I'm not a big fan of trolls. I don't hate trolls, because sometimes they can be funny. Don't get me wrong. The ones who are actually trying to be funny are funny. The ones who are just doing it to be mean people, just in general, not a big fan of them. But no, I was talking to someone earlier today, and don't get me wrong. I don't support the war, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't support the troops. And I'm not just saying this because of my own military experience. I'm saying this as a general thing. I don't support every single police officer. But I have met quite a few nice ones, quite a few good ones, who are literally out there to protect the citizens. Granted, some people jump the gun. Both literally and figuratively. Jump the gun. It happens. Am I defending all cops? No. What I'm saying is, every cop evil? No. No, like I said, I've met quite a few cops. In fact, someone I know is a cop, and he's a great guy. Actually, I know several cops. Like, outside of the military and everything else. Like, I know several of them, and most of them are really good, cool people. But, like I said, back to the whole troops thing. You don't have to support the war to support the troops. Because there's a difference. There's a difference between supporting the troops and supporting the war. Supporting the war means that you're supporting the fighting. That you're supporting, I don't know, whatever you want to imagine it as. You can imagine it as a massacre, whatever. I don't care what you imagine the war is. But don't let it blind you to the fact that there are troops, people who are younger than me, going out onto a battlefield, getting paid less than, Oh, what was it? Let's see. Recently, there's been that whole big thing about McDonald's employees getting paid like $15 an hour. That's all dandy and all. But the average E1 private in the U.S. military is making a fraction of that. I did the math one year of how much I would get paid, like if I was just to get basic pay for a month. And I broke it down by hour, like a whole 24 hours. It was about, because when you're on duty those whole 24 hours. It does not end at 5 o'clock. It continues until you are done. I counted it at about $2.63 for the average private on basic pay. You know, and that's not BHA, because BHA is basic housing allowance, which, you know, is for like rental apartments, stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. You know, stuff like that. But if a soldier were to get, if an E1 private was to get basic pay for a month, he would be getting paid about $2.63 an hour. Because like I said, when you're out, you're out. And you're on call the whole time. You know, granted, you will be allowed to sleep, but it is not like if, you know, you're off the clock, you're still on the clock. Only difference is that they'll allow you to sleep every now and again. So, you know, and these are kids being thrown into situations that most people will never have to step into. I'm not saying by any means support the wars, but support the troops who have to fight them, who are sent out to fight them. Because if you don't know better than the radicals, really, in my opinion. Because like I said, the people, and I don't remember who said this. I really don't. It was a general. I just can't remember who it was off the top of my head. He said, no one prays for peace more than the soldiers who had to fight it. Because as soldiers, you go out onto a battlefield, and the only thing you can do is look left to right and wonder who's going to go first, or are you going to be first? And, you know, I haven't been deployed, I'll be honest. You know, I haven't been deployed. I'm not going to act like I've been deployed. But, you know, they told us that in basic. Like, there's a high possibility you will be sent out onto a battlefield. And when you get there, the only thing you can do is look left and right and pray and protect your brothers and sisters in arms. Like I said, you don't have to support the war to support the troops. Alright, there's plenty of troops who come home with injuries, both mental, physical, and spiritual. And, you know, I always hear about homeless vets, or vets who have no one left. And recently, in the past 2 weeks, I saw a posting about a Vietnam vet. He had no family, he was homeless, and he was having a funeral down in, I want to say Virginia or Georgia. I can't remember the exact thing. It was a few weeks ago. But, you know, it was a shout out to all our brothers and sisters saying, show up in uniform to support one of our own. And everything in my being wanted to be there. I had no way to get there, honestly. But, like I said, support your men and women in the uniform. Because, just like you hear everyday citizens, they just took it a step further and they decided to write a blank check towards the people of the government. Because I don't know if many of you know this, but in our oath, the first two things we swear to is the people and the Constitution. These are the first two things we swear to. Now, how many of my fellow brothers and sisters in arms are actually going to support what I'm saying? That's entirely up to them. I do not claim to speak for the military. nor do I claim to speak for those in it or retired out of it. I speak for myself and myself alone. But support your troops. Support the people who put their lives on the line. Support firefighters. Support public servants, like the true public servants, not the ones taking advantage of it, but the true public servants. All right. Like a lot of people, when they hear public servant, they automatically think of firefighters, no, police officers more or less, because a lot of people hear that being thrown around. Well, police officers, but other public, I just asked on myself. But other public service include EMTs, emergency medical teams. They are the guys in the ambulances trying to save lives on the way to the hospital. Do they get decent money? I don't know. I don't know what their pay is. But I'm sure it affects them having to see some of the things they see. And it goes for anyone else that's in a profession where death can be part of their job. It's that they will see things that they don't want to see, or they will experience things that most people won't have to. So, support your community. Oh, and to the Ferguson rioters, you're idiots. If you honestly think that looting your community is going to make people listen to you, the only thing most of us are doing is shaking our heads in disappointment. You claim that it's a race issue. The race issue isn't the problem anymore. It's that you're acting the way that they claim you to act. They painted a picture of you and you're painting it. They put the outline of a picture and you're filling it in exactly the way they want to. You're not making it better. Protest, yes, go for it. Rioting, looting, beating people up, you're filling in the lines they drew out. And to the people stomping on the flag, I don't know how many of you have seen, but when a soldier, whether it be whether it be Army, Navy, Marine, Air Force, God, I can't believe it's in this one, Coast Guard, they're not just throwing in a coffin. There's an American flag draped over it. And there's a long history for old soldiers who've died on the battlefield in the name of this country, who have had that flag draped over their coffin or been buried with a flag and a flag given to their families. So you can claim that stopping on that flag would be your way of expressing your hatred for what's going on, but realize that a lot of people who have been in the service find it incredibly disrespectful, and honestly it pisses us off a lot. It pisses me off a lot whenever I see a video of someone doing it, because I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure there's people I went to basic with who were buried underneath that flag. A lot of them were good people. You really want to be mad? You really want society to change? How about you stop filling it with hate and you start filling it with love and forgiveness? Because the only way you're going to get the world to change, and this goes for politically too, is that when you start to care for one another as your brother or sister, that's how a change will happen. That's how the world will start to change, because right now we live in a world full of apathy. We watch something in the news and go, oh, that's horrible. That's awful. That's absolutely awful. And then we go back to eating whatever we have in the fridge or whatever we could make in the cupboard. But I live by the golden rule: treat others as you would want to be treated. So I try to treat people with respect and with kindness. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people say I come off as an asshole. I actually don't. It's one of the two. See, I come off as a giant teddy bear or an asshole. It's one of the two. It's always one of the two. I can never get in between for some reason. I try to, but it just doesn't work. Anyways, I'm getting off track here. Yeah, that's how the world's going to change, is when we start to care for one another like we were created to. So instead of being on your computer for, the rest of the time you're at home, don't get me wrong, I was playing video games all day, but that's because I don't get a whole lot of time off. And when I'm not at home, I'm usually out with my friends, having fun, helping them out, doing what I can. I'm trying to spread that love. But, I am one man trying to do this, trying to spread love and forgiveness. And the only way it's going to continue to spread is if more people hop on board and start spreading that. It's like, what was that movie? I can't remember what that movie was, but it was about a kid. He started this thing called Pass It On. He would help 3 people, and when they asked what he wanted in return, all he would say was, pass it on. And I love that idea. The sad part is that how many people would actually want to pass it on, because people get the help they need, and then that's it. They stop. They it doesn't matter. They're more important than everyone else. But like I said, in order for this world to change, as a community, as a world community as a whole, we're gonna have to start actually caring for one another. This whole my religion is better than yours, my religion is right, yours is wrong, you're a homosexual, so automatically you're a sinner. I'm sorry, okay? I'm Christian. I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, and I pray. And every now and again, I go to the Bible to read a few verses when I'm feeling incredibly upset to the point of no return. I usually turn to Proverbs. But that's besides the point. I will never... In the Bible, Jesus always talks about loving thy neighbor as, yourself, basically. This is where the idea of the golden rule came from. Treat others as you would want to be treated. And Jesus says to love everyone. He doesn't say just love the people of your religion, of your faith. He says to love everyone. Don't get me wrong. I have my own issue of hatred. There's some people I just really hate. And it's more or less when they're just freaking idiots, to be honest with you. But like I said, I will never just hate someone off the bat. You gotta give me a really good reason to. And, if you want to hear about my faith, I will be more than happy to tell you about it. About a year ago, I actually went to a bar and I ran into 2 believers of the Islamic faith. And we sat there. They saw my dog tags, they saw I was in the military. And we sat there and we actually talked about the differences between Islam and Christianity. It was a great conversation. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely adored it. It was incredible. I loved it. We weren't arguing about who was right or who was wrong. We were just discussing the different beliefs and the reasons why why they did things and why we did things. Like, they asked me, why do some Christians wear a cross? Because in their religion, wearing the moon of Islam is considered sacrilege. It's against their belief. It's false ideology. And I told them the answer is, I told them why I would wear my cross every now and again. I told them I wear it to remind myself of the sacrifice that was given to me. Not so much to say I'm a Christian, but to remind myself of the absolute sacrifice that was given. And I asked them, why do they pray 5 times a day towards Mecca? And I asked them this, and I told them, I'm curious, why do you guys pray 5 times a day? I'm completely up for the devotion that you have for that, too, because they do it no matter what, no matter where they are. And I asked them, honestly, why do you pray 5 times a day? And they told me to become closer with God, to talk with God more and more, to feel that complete and total oneness with Allah. And, that type of devotion is incredible, and I'll give them that. It's an incredible amount of devotion. They take time out of your day to pray 5 times a day, to stop and just pray. And that is incredible. I admire that about the Islamic faith, to be honest with you. But, like I said, the only way this whole cycle of hatred is going to stop is when people stop just hating. When people just stop hating and start trying to care for one another. And this video has gone on for way longer than I thought it was going to. Holy crap. I am 20 minutes in. Shit, I was going to take a shower. Well, I can still take one, but it's just going to be a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. But no. Alright, I'm going to stop rambling. Because I don't know how many people are going to watch this. I don't know how many people are going to argue with me, disagree with me. And if you feel this was a complete and total waste of, we'll just say 23 minutes of your day, I'm sorry. What do you want me to do about it? You're the one that clicked on the video. That's your fault. Not mine. Yours. Anyways, everyone have a good day. Have a great evening. I will all talk to you soon. And once again, I apologize if you feel that watching this video was a waste of your time. I just had to get some things off my chest. And if you were confused on anything, feel happy to write in the comments on my Facebook and or YouTube or whichever one I'm going to be... No, let's stick on Facebook first. Feel free to comment. Feel free. And, we can have a discussion. I'm fine with discussions, I'm not here to argue with anyone. But I will sit here and discuss with you what I believe, and then you can discuss with me what you believe, and then we can bring up bad points. This is how adults talk things out. We don't just scream in each other's faces. Don't get me wrong, I've been known to scream in people's faces, but that's only when they're trying to do something incredibly stupid. You can quote me on that. I do scream at people when they do things incredibly stupid. I gotta end this. Anyways, everyone have a good night. Hope your day's going awesome. I'll be bowling tonight. That's all I got. You have a good night. Bye-bye.